Welcome everybody to my channel. Thank you so much to my subscribers. Welcome newcomers. I hope you like what you see, and if so, be part of this journey with us by hitting that subscription button. It's totally free, and also hitting the bell notification to be notified of the new uploads that I come up with. I want to mention that up top there's 3 little buttons right on the corner, on the right hand corner for most of you. For some of you it's in your settings. I do have a link to the video below in the description box to teach you if you're not understanding how I'm explaining to slow down the video. You can click there. It's a 2-minute video. Very simple. It's just a click away. You can slow down the video by clicking the 3 little buttons up top and slow down to the speed you would like. Also, right next to it, there's the letter CC. You can turn that on, and that will be for closed caption. All the stitching, everything that I mention and say will be written down here. You can pause, stop the video, take notes, and it will help you to understand the pattern. I don't write patterns. I get asked a lot about it, and for those reasons, I ask of you to slow down the video. I know sometimes I'm a little bit too fast for these recordings, and I apologize for that. It's just I get on my own bubble. This is all new to me also, so it's just a question of getting practice at recording, which I'm not fully used to yet. I'm getting comfortable at this point. So I want to thank every single one of you that have been from the start with me, have commented, shared, have tagged me. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for your lovely, wonderful comments. Thank you again so much to every single one of you. Also for the people that came through, the women that came through with donations, and also some donations for the women in need of thread. Thank you so much. Some of you have shipped it yourselves. Gratitude all the way. And some of you have donated into my PayPal account and into the super thanks that's below the video. It has a $ symbol on it. Thank you so much to everyone that has participated in trying to help out one way or another. Okay, so we are going to get started. Any questions, suggestions, please feel free to comment below. You could always get a hold of me if you're stuck with some project, like some of you do, to message me through Instagram. I do have a Facebook group, private group, because there's a lot of scammers and fraud into the crochet groups now, so you have to be careful. Don't open links that say cut or bit on it. Those are fraud scammers. Be careful, people. They steal people's identity and pictures, and they post there with those links pretending that it's them. So stay away from that, or report them in as spam. That's what I usually do. For those reasons, my group is private. You're more than welcome to join us in our group. Beautiful group of people we have there. We're one growing family. You can just request, and I'm sure one of the monitors will respond to you ASAP. I also do have the crochet page. You can follow that there too, or my Instagram or TikTok. So there's so many ways you can get a hold of me. My email is below also. So anything that you're stuck with, feel free to ask. Or suggestions, remembering that I am in Europe. My time frame could be different than yours. Sometimes I will have to take a few hours before I answer you because I must be sleeping. It's overnight, and it must be morning for you in your country. Okay, so we're going to get started, everyone, and I bless you, I hug you, and please keep your optimism always up and high, and never think that you cannot do this pattern. We are not born learned. We are born to learn. Okay, you can do all things as long as you persist, be patient with yourself, and just continue on. Anyone can create anything they want. Okay, let's get started, everyone. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. And today we're going to start another tutorial. This tutorial I have done pretty much similar, which was from the dearest friend Maria Jose, the pineapple one. Some of you that follow the channel know that I had I think it was last week, I did the pineapples and then the smaller ones on the ends. And And so, but I was requested to have the middle piece only without the extension on the ends. So I'm going to make the middle piece. And as I mentioned on the other video, this creation was not mine. This was out of Maria José, which I absolutely love, but I had switched up the stitch on the other tutorial and turned it into my own. This time I'm going to make it more or less like hers, so the stitch can fit properly as a centerpiece without the edging. Okay, so we're going to get started. Please don't forget to give a thumbs up on the video. It's extremely important. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. It helps the channel. Let's get started. I'm going to use a turquoise blue. My camera looks dark for some reason. I don't know why this camera sometimes is just wild. And I'm going to use a 2.75 hook, a small pair of scissors and a small one to tuck in loose ends. So, and the good thing is that sometimes, you know, you have a lot of like extra little rolls of thread from different projects. You can add them all together and, you know, you have enough thread or yarn to continue to do another project. So don't put it to waste. Like I have a big ball of this turquoise blue from different projects and pretty much knotted them up, which I'm pretty good at hiding those knots in anyway. Okay, so let's get started, everyone. Try to turn the slide here so it does not reflect too much because it's crazy. And especially with shadowing. I don't like the shadowing, but I don't have control of it either. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is that slip stitch knot. Now you know that the slip stitch knot really never counts for anything. I mean, it can happen that it can count as a stitch sometimes in different projects, but not in this case. So I'm going to do 6 chain. I'm not going to count this as a first row because the first initial beginning project we never count as a row. Let's say the chain, let's say. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have my 6. I'm going to come in the first place, the first chain, I think. No, I have 5 because the other one is the slip stitch. So I'm going to come in the first chain and I'm going to close it up. And I'm going to come back in and I'm going to do a single and 2 chains. That will equal a double crochet. I'm going to continue inside of here. And I'm going to do 17 more double crochets. So I'll have a total with my single and 2 chains. I'll have a total of 18 double crochets. So yes, we are doing pineapple. It's going to be 2 big ones on the edge and 2 on each side of the centerpiece. Okay, if you go into the playlist of table runners or pineapple table runners, you will see I even named it Maria José after her because this is her creation. Even though I changed up the stitch, but still she came up with a design. Okay, so let's continue on. So 18 double crochets. Once you've done your 18 double crochet, you're going to come on your second chain here because we did a single and 2 chain, right? I'm just going to pull them close together. We don't want any openings. I don't like openings on the patterns. So, okay, so this is row 1. Okay, so now going into row 2, I'm going to come back in, and every time I start to do a double crochet on every row, I repeat the same thing, coming back in the same place that we closed in with a single and 2 chain. I'm going to do another chain for space. I'm coming into the next space with double crochet, 1 chain space into the next space, double crochet. So we'll have 18 double crochets with 1 chain space between them. Now I will be adding some 3D flowers into this. I'm not sure yet at this point which flowers I'm going to add in. Either I'll create or I might just take one from my playlist already. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end. So I've closed in my second chain with a slip stitch. I'm going to do the walk. We're going to row 3. into the center of that one chain, create a single 2 chain. This is my first double crochet. I'm going to have groups of 2 double crochet per space and 1 chain space between the 2 double crochets. Okay, so 1 chain, next space, 2 double crochets. We're going to continue to create this like this all the way around. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so we finished row 3, going into row. Okay, so this row 4 and 5 will be exactly the same way. So I've closed in with a slip stitch, I did my walk into the center, 1 single 2 chain. We'll be building groups of 3 double crochet. Row 4 and row 5 will be groups of 3 double crochet. 1 chain space in this group 4, this row 4, and 2 chain space on your row 5, okay, because we don't want it to be pulling too much on the pattern. So row 4, 3 double crochet, 1 chain, row 5, 3 double crochet, 2 chain. I'll meet you at the end of row 5. Okay, getting into row 6. So I've closed in with slip stitch, went in, did the walk with the slip stitch, single 2 chain. We're going to build a shell of 3 double crochets, 2 chain, and 3 more double crochets. Next space, no chain space between them. We're going to build again 3 double crochets, another shell, 2 chain, and 3 more double crochet. Just like that. We're going to do 1 2 chain. I'm coming in the next space and I'm building a V. 1 2 3 chain. I'm coming back in and creating my V. So basically on this row 6 we're always going to have 2 groups of shells and 1 V, 2 groups of shells and 1 V, 2 groups of shells and 1 V, and that's how it's going to be all the way around. Chain 2 into the next space, we create our shells again with 3 double crochet, 2 chain space. If your stitch is too tight, then do 3 chain space, and again into the next space and create your shell. We're just going to repeat exactly what we just finished doing. 2 groups of shells and 1 V on the next space. So we're finishing to create the second group of shell, exactly like here. And now we're going to do the V. So 2 chain, double crochet, and 3 chain. 1 2 and 3. And another double crochet. We're going to repeat this all the way around the same way. So we just finished doing row 6, going into row 7. I close in with a slip stitch to the walk, single 2 chain. We're going to create another shell. So where we have the shells, we're creating shells, 2 chain, and 3 double crochet. We're going to be doing this time 1 chain space between shells and create the other group of shells of 3 double crochet, 2 chain, and 3 more double crochet. Two chain. We're going to create again V over V. So 3 chain and double crochet inside of the same space. We're going to repeat this all the way around. 2 chain, create your shell with 3 double crochet, 2 chain, and 1 chain space between shells. Now for sure I might have to go to video 2 on this because it's a lot of little details, and so it takes too much space on my mobile, too much memory. Okay, so that's how we're going to do. Shell, 1 chain, shell, 2 chain, double crochet inside of the V, 3 chain, double crochet again, 2 chain, and we repeat the process. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end. Okay, you guys, going into row 8. Row 8 is no different. The only difference is a 2 chain between the shells. Single 2 chains for double crochet, create your shell. 2 chain space, 3 more double crochets, and 2 chain between the shells. Into the next space, create your shell, 2 chain space, and again. Two chain, create your V the same way, double crochet, 3 chain, double crochet in the same space. So we're creating the V. We're going to repeat the same thing all the way around. The only difference between row 7 here was 1 chain, here will be 2 chain. Everything else stays the same. Shell, 2 chain, shell, 2 chain, double crochet in the V, 3 chain, double crochet in the V, 2 chain, and then proceed again with the shell. So I'll meet you at the end of row 8. Okay, everyone, going into row 9, which I give myself a head start already because it's just a shell. So it's shell over shell. The only difference is on the chains. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 chain. We're coming in and doing the next shell. Chain 2, and 3 double crochet. So shell, chain 4, shell, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And doing the V as we've been doing, chain 3, and again double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and repeat everything as we just finished doing. So shell, 4 chain, shell, 5 chain, V with 3 chain and 5 chain again. Continue your shell, 4 chain, continue your shell, then 5 chain, do your V, and that's how it's going to be. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end. Okay, you guys, going into row 10, we're going to repeat the same thing. The difference is on the chain. So we're going to do 5 chain, 2. So of course, I've closed in with slip stitch, did the wonk as I call it with slip stitch, single 2 chain, created my shell, 2 chain space, 5 chain now, 2, 3, 4, 5, create your shells. So this whole row will be 5 chains in between shells and also the V. I love this Tiffany blue. My camera doesn't do justice on colors, but it's a Tiffany blue and it's gorgeous. Okay, so 3, 4, 5, and create your shell, not your shell, your V again. Chain 3, and again. Chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and create your shell again. The only difference is it's 5 chain on the chains between the shells and the V's. Okay, so shell, 5 chain, shell, 5 chain, V with 3 chain, 5 chain, shell, 5 chain, shell, and so on. Okay, I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, going into row 11, it's going to change up a bit. We're going to start the foundation of the pineapples. So I did my slip stitch, walked, single 2 chain, did my shell with 2 chain. Now we're going to do chain 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Going to do our shell. And chain 4 this time, because inside of the first V here we're going to do 15 double crochets. This is the foundation of the first pineapple. So I'll meet you after my 15. So shell, 6 chain, shell, 4 chain, 15 double crochets in the V. So I finished doing my 15 double crochets. I'm going to do chain 4, continue to do the shell, chain 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, continue the shell. So I've completed my shell, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and on this V we're going to do 13 double crochets. Okay, so I've completed my 13 to just confirm 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, missing 1. And I count again to make sure we can't be missing any. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Wasn't missing none. We can't have extra either, right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Chain 4. And do your shell. So you do your shell, chain 6, your shell again, and we're going to repeat 13 double crochet in the next V. But I'm going to do my shell, my chain 6, and I'll meet you here on the next shell. Okay, so did my next shell, chain 4, and 13 double crochets on this V also. And I'll explain to you why. Okay, so we started the shell, 6 chain, shell, 4 chain, 15 double crochet, 4 chain, shell, 6 chain, shell, 4 double crochet, 13 double crochet, shell, 6 chain, shell, 4 chain, 13 double crochet. We're going to do the shell, 6 chain, shell, and we're going to do 15 double crochet, because this 15 double crochet on this shell is the bigger pineapple. We're going to have 2 smaller ones on this side and 2 smaller ones on this side for that reason, and the other big one on this side. That's why we need to do the 15 also on here. So we'll have one of 15 here and one of 15, 13, 13, and 13, 13. Okay, so very simple. I'm going to continue mine and finish. So you're going to continue to do your shell, 6 chain, your shell, 4 chain, 15 double crochet, 4 chain, and we continue on. And then the other 2 is 13, because we already started off with the 15, right? So I will meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, going into row 12. So now I have my two 15 double crochets on one side and on the other, two 13 and two 13. We're going to repeat the 6th chain after doing the shell. So I came in, closed in with slip stitch, did the walk, single, 2 chain, created my shell with 2 chain space, and now chain 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Same thing as the previous row. Create your shell. And we're going to do the 4th chain the same way as we did on the previous row. 2, 3, 4. I'm going to come in and do 1 double crochet. Next space, we're doing an increase, 2 together in the same space. Next space, 1 alone. Next space, 1 double crochet alone. So 1 alone, 2 together, 2 alone, increase again, 2 together in the same space. Again, next space, 1 alone and 1 alone. Next space, 2 together. Next space, 1 alone, 1 alone. Next space, 2 together. Next space, 1 alone, 1 alone. Next space, 2 together in the same space, and last one alone, same way as we started. So we have 1 alone, 2 together, 2 alone, 2 together, 2 alone, 2 together, 2 alone, 2 together, 2 alone, 2 together, and 1 alone, exactly like the start. Chain 4 and do your shell, and then do your 6 double crochet and your shell. I'll meet you here on the 2nd shell. So I made a mistake here. I had done only 1 double crochet. Imagine that. Thank God it was early on I catched and didn't do the shell. That wouldn't have been good. I would have to take it all down again. Well, at least this row, once I would get to the next one, because I wouldn't be able to fit a shell, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Create the shell, and then your chain 4. Now on the 13 double crochets for the small pineapples, there is no increase. Okay, the increase is only on the 15 double crochets for the bigger pineapple. So we're coming into the 13 double crochets, the smaller pineapple, and it's just 1 per space. Chain 4, 2, 3, 4, and this is the 13 pineapple. We have 2 on this side, 2 on the other. So where we have the 13, if you want to put a marker, go ahead. It's just 1 double crochet per space. There is no increase. Only on the 15 double crochet, we're going to repeat the same thing as we did on here. 1 alone, 2 together, 2 alone when we get to it. So you know that you have this 13 double crochet, and then you have the 2 shells, the 4 chain, and the next one is the 13 double crochet also. So there is no increase for that. It's just 13 double crochet over 13 double crochet. Okay, so chain 4, shell, chain 6, shell, chain 4, 13 double crochets over double crochet, no increase, chain 4, shell, 6 chain, shell. Here's the 15 we must do the increase. One alone, two together, two alone. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, you guys, going into row 13, it's going to change up a bit again. So I've closed in with my slip stitch, did the lock, did my shell. Now this first shell here will have another group of 3 double crochet. So 3 double crochet, 2 chain, 3 double crochet, 2 chain, and 3 double crochet. Chain 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one will be a normal shell only. Three double crochet, 2 chain, and 3 more double crochet. We're going to do 1, 2, 3 chain only. Coming into the first double crochet, we have 20 double crochets there. We're going to do 1 double crochet per space. So that means you should have 20 double crochets on this 15 double crochet pineapple. And when I say 15, it's because that's where we started the 15. So don't get confused. So 1 double crochet and then 3 chain, and then I'll meet you here again. So I pretty much did my double crochets, I did my 3 chain, I did my group a shell, exactly like here. Now we're going to repeat the 3 double crochet groups onto this shell, and 6 chain. So 3 groups of 3 double crochet in this shell. So we created the other 3 groups of 3 double crochet exactly like we did on here, and then just 1 shell, double crochet over double crochet. There's 20 of them. Chain 3, and then shell, chain 6, chain 3 again, and we're going to do double crochet over double crochet on the 13 double crochets. So I've done my 13 double crochets, chain 3. We're just going to do shell over shell on the next 2 shells with chain 6 in between them. So there is no increase here on shells. These shells of the 13 stays the same, the 13 double crochets, because these are the smaller ones, okay? We're not increasing because we're not building other pineapples. So we've done the 2 shells the normal way. Chain 3, we're going to repeat double crochet over double crochet, 13 of them, because these are the small pineapples. So chain 3 and continue to build the double crochet over double crochet, and I'll meet you here because this one here will have the 3 groups of 3 double crochet. So finish doing my 13 double crochet, chain 3, and now here we're going to do 3 groups of 3 double crochet, space of 2 chains. I have my first group, 2 chain space. I'm going to create my second group of 3 double crochet and 2 more chain, and my third group, because we're getting into the 15 pineapple one, the 15 double crochets that we started with. Okay, so Let's just recap. The beginning we did 3 groups, 6 chain, shell, double 3 chain, double crochet over double crochet. There's 20 of them. 3 chain, normal shell, 6 chain, 3 groups of double crochet, 3 chain, 13 double crochets, 3 chain, shell, 6 chain, shell, 13 double crochet, 3 groups, and now we're going to do the normal group again. 6 chain, 1 2 3 4 5 6, and create your shell the normal way. 3 double crochet, 2 chain, and 3 more double crochet, chain 3, and double crochet over double crochet, because we are on the 15 double crochet, and then we're going to do the normal double crochet shell exactly like we have here, and then we have to do the group here again on the next one. But I'll meet you here after we do the 13 or the 15 double crochets. Okay, actually it's not 15, I'd say the 15 because of the bottom here, it's 20. Okay, so I've done my 20 double crochets, I've done my 3 chain, I've done my normal shell, 6 chain, and my 3 groups of 3 double crochet for this shell. Now we're just going to repeat double crochet over double crochet on the 13, so 3 chain, 13 double crochet, so that stays the same, nothing changes. Okay, so I'll meet you once I'm done. So I've just done my 13 double crochets, chain 3. Now these 2 will be the normal shell, exactly like we did on the other side. So double crochet, so 3 double crochets, 2 chain, normal shell. There's no increase because we already did on the big pineapples. We don't do them on the small pineapples. Chain 6, 1 2 3 4 5 6, and do again your regular shell. 3 double crochet, 2 chain, and 3 double crochet, chain 3, and repeat your 13 double crochets, and then we're going to close it off with a slip stitch. Okay, going into row 14. So I've already done my shell where we have the 3 groups here. Chain 2, create another shell, chain 2, one, 2, 3, 4 chain this time. I'm coming in and doing my normal shell, chain 3, and now we're going to do double crochet over double crochet, 1 chain space in between them, double crochet, one chain, double crochet, one chain. It's going to be like this in all 20 of them. And then at the end, once you finish here, we're going to do chain 3 and do our shell the same way as we did there. So I've done my 20 double crochets, one chain space, chain 3, normal shell, chain 4 now. Now it's just going to be a repeat. 3, 4. Create your shell in here, 2 chain, the next shell, 3 chain, double crochet, 1 chain space. So it's going to be a repeat exactly what we just done. So create your shell. Do your 3 double crochets for your shell. Chain 2 space in between shells into the next one. Chain 3 and double crochet over double crochet with 1 chain space in between them. So it's exactly the same thing as we did with the first one. We're going to repeat it this way all the way around. All you have to do is remember that it's a 4 chain between shells here. It's always a 3 chain, 1 chain space between the double crochets, and where we have the 3 groups we must do a shell, 2 chain, and a shell. So it's just basically a repeat exactly what we just done here on the first one, and just follow through as it is, right? So I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, so I pretty much finished doing my row as I explained how it's supposed to be done. I've closed in with the slip stitch. Now we're going to need to do the walk all the way to the second shell. So we're just going to come in between the stitching here. And slip stitch, do the walk. I call it the walk with a slip stitch all the way to the second shell. So just go all the way through it. Come in, single, 2 chain, and do your shell the normal way. Now we're going to start to make those 3 chain loops for the pineapples. Okay, so we've closed in. We did the walk all the way to the second one. Chain 3. Actually, chain 4. And do your shell the normal way. Just like that. Chain 3. Come in the first space between the first and second double crochet. Chain 3 into the next, all the way to the end of this pineapple. So we're making the loops of 3 chain. Okay. So now we are going to do the 4 chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, and do the shell here where we have the groups of shell. Now from here on, this is the big pineapple. We're going to be working back and forth individual from the other ones. Okay, so we started here with shell, 4 chain, shell, 3 chain, the 3 chains on the pineapples, 3 chain shell, 4 chain shell. We're going to turn around and we're going to continue the same way all the way to the end. So we're going to do the walk into the center, create your shell. We'll be working back and forth on this pineapple, and then once we're done with it, we'll cut the thread and go work the other pineapples. So you create your shell, your 4 chain, 2, 3, and 4. Create your next shell, chain 3, and into the loop. Chain 3, into the loop. Chain 3, into the loop. So now we're decreasing. Now it's going to get to a point that it's going to crumple up at some point here, because you're going to have a lot of these 3 chains, but don't worry about it, because once you keep going, it will form itself normal. So you're going to continue again until here, and then you're going to come back, work back and forth until you have 1 loop left, and I'll meet you at the end of that 1 loop. Okay, so I'm going to work mine back and forth until there's 1 of these loops of 3 chain left. Okay, everyone, so I have 1 loop left, and I have 18 rows. Now, the 18 rows, of course, it's counted from the first one here, not where we have the groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, until 18. Okay. Now, I did my 3 chain coming in, single, 3 chain, to your groups, your shells, I should say. Your 4 chains, your shell, we're going to turn around. We're going to do our shell, and we're going to start decreasing on the chains. So do your shell. I've done my shell, 1, 2 chain, coming in, doing my shell, coming in directly into my next space there. Do your shell, and then your 2 chain again, and your shell again. Chain 2, create your shell, turn around, create your shell again. So I've created my shell, I'm turning around. So I've turned around, did my 3 double crochet. So I'm going to do my shells again. Try to see if I can make it a little bit more thinner. So my shell, 3 chains, 3 double crochet, 2 chains, 3 more double crochet, and my shell here. See if I like it this way. Trying to narrow it down. Turn around. Create your shell. So I created my shell. I'm going to come in the center here and create a shell. And I think I should be good. Into the next one, create your shell. Turn around. I still like to narrow it down a little bit more. So we're going to create a shell here. See how this is going to pin out. Try to go directly there and see if it looks okay. If it does, we'll leave it as is. If not, I'll change it again. I like it, so I'll leave it at that. Okay, so now you can cut your thread. And then tuck in your loose ends, hide it in between the stitches here. Go from behind and then hide it in the loops back here. Make sure that it's all secure and safe before we have everything fall apart, right? So we have the big pineapple done. Obviously, you will have to do exactly the same thing as we just finished doing with this big one on this side too. So you will have to do exactly the same thing as we did here, starting from here until here on both sides, right? On these two sides here. Where we have the groups. So basically I'll turn it around. So we have to start from here to here, exactly as we did on the other side. You must do the same thing as we just did. Okay, so on to the next. I think it came out pretty good. My ending, she has a whole different ending with the attachment of flowers and things like that. So I like to make my own different touch to it. Now, we're doing the small pineapples, and this is no different than what we've been doing. It's just that they're smaller, of course, and we will make sure your pattern is faced properly. We'll start on the shell here, and we're going to work our way back and forth. So single 2 chain, and do your shell. Chain 3, and then into the space. So do your chain 3s. So now we turn around again, exactly like we did with the big one, and work this all the way through to the end. I'll come back to you when we have only one loop left. And then, of course, once we finish this one, we cut our thread and work the other small one, cut our thread, and do the same thing to all of them. So then chain 3, and do your pineapple little loops here. Okay, so we're going to work back and forth. We've done the big one, doing the small one. Once we finish, we cut the thread, and then we come and work the other small one, and then the big one, and then the small one, and then the small one. So they're all done individual, right? So I'll meet you when we have one loop left. Okay, my dear friends, so I totally forgot to come back and record the edge on the small ones, but no biggie, very simple. So you do your 3 chain, do your shell, turn around, do your shell, shell, next row, shell, shell, cut your thread. So you have 2 rows of shell, very simple, nothing to it. Now, I've done all of it. I'm going to have a little video at the end in display, and I have created these little flowers just to give you an idea that you can add these flowers to the edges. You could even create leaves on it. I'm just going to glue them on. I'm not adding anything else. And that's about it for this tutorial. So it's going to be very simple. I'll have it in display at the end. And thank you so much for being part of this journey. And please give a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. I will meet you in the next tutorial. Thank you so much, everyone. Take care.